The golden rays of the early morning sun spread gently across the small village, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Birds chirped melodiously from the treetops, while the cool breeze carried the scent of fresh earth after the night's dew. In the heart of this calm setting stood a modest wooden house surrounded by tall green fields. It was here that our story began. Inside the house, young Armin sat quietly near the window, his eyes lost in thought. His hands, though small, were strong and roughened from helping his father in the fields. Armin was no ordinary boy. His heart carried dreams much larger than the boundaries of his village. While others of his age enjoyed games and laughter, Armin often wondered about the world beyond the mountains, about the opportunities waiting for those brave enough to chase them. His mother called out softly, placing a simple breakfast of bread and milk on the table. "Armin, eat something before you leave," she said with warmth in her voice. He smiled faintly, nodding, but his mind remained restless. Today was different. Today, he had decided to take the first step toward a future he had long imagined. The fields stretched endlessly before him, their green swaying under the gentle wind. As he walked down the narrow path leading out of the village, his heart raced between fear and excitement. Every step he took carried weight, the weight of his family's expectations, the weight of his own dreams, and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. The villagers, seeing him leave, whispered among themselves. Some admired his courage, while others shook their heads in doubt. "He is too young," one said. "The world beyond is harsh," another added. Yet Armin walked on, his determination stronger than their doubts. At the edge of the village, he paused for a moment, turning back to see the small home that had given him warmth and love. His eyes filled with silent gratitude. Then, with a deep breath, he stepped forward into the unknown. The sun climbed higher, casting its light upon his path, as if blessing the beginning of his journey. This was not just another day. This was the day Armin chose to change his destiny. The narrow dirt road stretched ahead of Armin, winding between tall trees and wild bushes. The sun was climbing higher, and the morning calm was slowly giving way to the heat of the day. For the first time, Armin was far from his village, his small bag hanging loosely on his shoulder. He walked with steady steps, but inside his heart trembled with both hope and fear. Not long into his journey, he came across a small stream flowing gently across the road. The water sparkled in the sunlight, but the wooden bridge that once crossed it had collapsed. The path forward was blocked. Armin stood still, staring at the broken pieces of wood scattered in the water. For a moment, he felt helpless. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe I should go back, he thought, doubt creeping into his mind. But then he remembered his father's words. A strong man is not the one who never fails, but the one who never gives up. Those words rang in his ears like a bell. With determination, Armin searched for a way around the stream. After a few minutes, he spotted some large rocks lying slightly downstream. If he could step carefully, he might cross to the other side. Armin tightened the strap of his bag and took a deep breath. The first rock was slippery. The second wobbled under his weight, but he kept his balance. His heart pounded faster with each step. Halfway across, his foot slipped, and for a moment he thought he would fall into the rushing water. Quickly, he stretched his arms out and steadied himself. His clothes were damp, but his spirit was unbroken. Finally, after what felt like forever, Armin reached the other side. He stood there for a moment, catching his breath, then looked back at the stream with a small smile. This was his first challenge, and he had overcome it. The road ahead was long, but now he knew courage was not about being fearless. It was about moving forward despite fear. As the wind rustled through the trees, Armin whispered to himself, "This is only the beginning." And with renewed energy, he continued his journey toward the world beyond. By the time the sun began to tilt westward, Armin's feet were tired from walking the long, dusty path. The tall trees gave way to open land, where the road stretched endlessly ahead. His bag felt heavier than it was in the morning, and his throat longed for water. Still, his determination kept him moving forward. As he turned a bend, he noticed a figure sitting beneath a large banyan tree. It was an old man, his beard long and white, his clothes simple but neat. A wooden stick rested by his side, and his sharp eyes seemed to notice every detail around him. The stranger looked at Armin with a smile as though he had been expecting him. "Where are you headed, young traveler?" the old man asked in a calm, deep voice. Armin hesitated for a moment, then replied honestly, I don't know exactly. I just want to find a better life, a chance to prove myself. The old man chuckled softly. Ah, so you are chasing dreams. The road you walk is full of trials. Many turn back, some lose their way, and only a few reach the destiny they seek. His words struck Armin deeply. He sat down beside the old man, feeling a strange comfort in his presence. The man reached into his bag and offered Armin a flask of water. Drink, child. The journey is long and no traveler walks without thirst. Gratefully, Armin took the flask and drank. The cool water refreshed him, giving him new strength. Thank you, he said sincerely. The old man studied him for a moment before speaking again. Remember this, every challenge you face will test not your body but your heart. If your heart remains strong, no storm can break you. He then handed Armin a small piece of cloth with a symbol stitched on it. Keep this with you. It will remind you of courage when fear surrounds you. Armin held the cloth tightly, feeling as if he had just been blessed. He bowed his head with respect and stood up. I will not forget your words. As he continued on the path, he glanced back one last time, but the old man was gone. Only the banyan tree stood silent under the setting sun. A shiver ran down Armin's spine. Was he just a stranger, or someone sent by fate? With renewed spirit, Armin walked forward, ready for whatever awaited him next.
The night sky stretched endlessly above Armin, filled with stars that twinkled like lanterns in the dark. He had been walking for hours, guided only by the moonlight. His body was tired, but his spirit was stronger than ever. The words of the old man echoed in his heart. If your heart remains strong, no storm can break you. As he entered a small marketplace on the edge of a nearby town, he noticed a crowd gathered around a broken cart. A merchant stood there, frustrated as his goods spilled across the road. The wooden wheel of his cart had snapped, and no one seemed able to fix it. People murmured and walked away, unwilling to waste their time. Armin stepped forward. May I try? He asked the merchant politely. The man looked at him with doubt. You are just a boy. What can you do? But Armin didn't give up. He knelt by the broken wheel, examining it carefully. His hands, rough from years of working in the fields, moved with surprising skill. He used a few strong sticks from nearby, tied them tightly with rope, and within a short while, the wheel stood firm again. The crowd gasped in amazement. The merchant's face lit up with relief. You saved me, young man. I thought I had lost everything. He handed Armin a few coins as a reward. But more importantly, he offered him respect. For the first time, Armin felt the strength of his own ability. The crowd whispered with admiration, and some even clapped. Armin stood there, proud but humble. This was his first victory away from home, not just fixing a wheel, but proving to himself that he was capable of something greater. As he looked toward the open road ahead, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as though guiding him forward. He smiled to himself and whispered, This is just the beginning of my story. Friends, if you enjoyed this inspiring journey of Armin, don't forget to support us. This story is brought to you by your channel name. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to stay connected for more stories filled with courage, hope, and destiny. Your support means everything.